Okay, we're on the first morning of the following day, and things are going much better than I was hoping. The really good news is the Rotifers are alive. They had more vigorous bubbling than this last night, and I decided to lower the bubbling level. But otherwise, when I shine a light in there, you can see it get cloudier and cloudier as they all move towards the light. I have to turn off the bubbler in order for them to be able to swim, though, which is why I decided to lower the bubbling level. But they're doing okay. They're alive in here. I'm really tempted to split the culture because I'm afraid that if I lose it, then essentially this whole thing is lost. But I also feel like they're doing pretty good in there. The color of the water is about where it's supposed to be, and I can see that they're alive in there. So yeah, I don't want to mess with what's working. So I'm going to leave them in there for probably 2 or 3 days, just like that. Just because I don't know what else to do. Though I really would like to split them. I don't know. I might pull something out. I might pull a couple millimeters out. But I don't even want to touch it, right? I don't even want to touch it and risk contaminating it. So, yeah. It's times like this, you really need a nozzle on the bottom. But overall, a good morning. A good morning to wake up to. I am taking the risk and feeding the rotifers this culture water, or this dead culture water. This, hopefully a little bit alive culture water. So it's risky, but it's working. So we'll let it be. This is day 2 with the rotifers. I got plenty of reason to think they're alive and well. Okay, here we are on the evening of the second day. So the first day after they arrive. So the evening of the second day. And we're looking pretty good. The rotifers appear to be alive and eating. I've seen them moving around in there a few times. Even though it's not a culture, it's like a bunch of rehydrated, I guess, or a bunch of algae, or a bunch of diatoms, but they're not alive. But when I smell it, it smells like salmon and seaweed. So it hasn't gone rotten yet. I have been feeding little bits of this culture to the rotifers. That's very risky, because if this gets really heavy in nitrates, or if this gets contaminated with whatever ends up eating all this rotting algae in here, or rotting diatoms, then that's going to become a problem for my rotifers. But also, if this gets eaten by saltwater bacteria, there's a good chance that the rotifers will also eat that as well. So it might not be so bad. For the time being, I'm going to continue to use this to feed my rotifer colony. It smells less than the concentrated solution that's in the fridge. And it just seems less risky and less intense. And also, it might be slightly more diverse. So you can see them swimming around and moving around in there. They're moving up and down. They're bouncing around. The density is surprisingly high. They're looking good. So we're going to keep going as we are. I do really need to split this colony, because who knows how long it'll stay stable. But for now, for tonight, I'm gonna feed them one more time, and then let it go. The AI that I'm using that's guiding me through this process says I shouldn't feed them and I should just shake it around, shake around the bottle because it's got a bunch of green. It's got a bunch of green diatom on the bottom. So yeah, so it says just shake it up and they'll eat that, and then you know, be careful of the nitrate explosions. But you know, I want to keep feeding them because look at them go, right? So let's just try and zoom in one more time. So yeah, this part of it's so cool. Look at them go, look at them all just swim towards the light. Super fun, super cute. Growing fond of them, I have to admit. The way I understand it, at the end of day 2, these are not new rotifers. These are the rotifers that still arrived. They're not really reproducing at a noticeable scale in 24 hours. Maybe just, but so I guess credit to Reed Marine Culture. They came in good. Okay. And then the actually important thing is the rotifers, which are looking a little bit clear, to be honest with you, and could use some food. But they're not starving. They're not starving yet. They got green stuff on the bottom, and some color in the tank. Though it's definitely, well, maybe not definitely, but it looks paler than yesterday. So we'll give it a little shake, a little shaky shake. Gonna stir up all the stuff in the bottom there. Come on. Well, that didn't do much. But I've been told that the AI told me that the rotifers won't be upset by stirring or shaking, so I'm gonna give it a little shake. Yeah, see, that's what we wanted to do. Just get that green stuff off the ground and suspended so that they eat it and it doesn't rot on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, we're looking okay at the end of the second day. Still no babies, so we're just managing the cultures. Okay, here we are on the morning of day 5. So 4 days after it arrived in the mail, and about 7 days since the rotifers have been shipped. We're going to turn off the bubbler. And take a look at these rotifers. How are they doing on day 5/day 7 since shipping? You can see that the water clarity has cleared up, so they need more food. The bottom has less algae detritus on it than it used to. And then if I just hold this here, let's see what the zoomed in behavior looks like. Zoom in a little more. I find they're easiest to see along that little ridge there, so let's do that. Okay, not gonna lie, the population looks a little less dense than before. And less active too. That's not good. In fact, I don't see any movement at all. I see rotifers, but I don't see rotifers swimming. You guys think I killed them? Yeah, that's if we just look at it straight up like this. That is way worse than 2 days ago. Oh man. Did I kill him? I don't see anybody moving in there. Oh. Damn. I don't see any movement. Damn. I think I killed them. Oh, there's a little movement. But it doesn't look like rotifers. It's not smooth movement. Not jerky. Okay, so somebody's alive in here. I think the population is less dense and less lively than it was, but you can see there's still living creatures swimming about in here. So, I guess we'll take it. So here we are, day 7 after shipping, day 5 after arrival. There is life. I would say the population density is less dense. But the rotifers look a little bigger, actually. They don't change size much, though. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna feed them again. And then we'll take it there from there. I'm not gonna feed them actually until the daytime light comes on. So, day 5. We're alive, but not necessarily crushing it. Okay, so the morning of day 5, it is time to feed the rotifers. Of course, I still need to split them, but it is time to feed the rotifers. The official sort of textbook AI suggestion is that I throw out these watered down dead cultures and switch to feeding 5 mils a day of the TW1800. First of all, I can just tell you straight up, 5 mils a day is way too much TW1800 for the amount of rotifers I have. I don't know that scientifically or mathematically. I can just tell you intuitively that the thickness of the TW1800 solution is insane. This is what 100 mils did in 3 mils, right? And it's been like that for days now. So, yeah, 5 mils in here every day is way too much. It might be like less than 1 mil per day for the amount of rotifers I have in this container. So, yeah. I don't really want to feed them directly with the TW1800, partly because I don't want to open that jar and contaminate it, partly because it's a mess, partly because it stinks, and partly because it's too dense. So what I've been doing up until now is just been grabbing extra large spoonfuls from this container and putting it into here. It's basically watered down, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 times when it's in this container. And it's, the bubbler's off right now, but it's been under oxygen this whole time. And yeah, like when I come downstairs, I can smell it, but it doesn't necessarily stink. Okay, time to feed the rotifers again. You can see their water. Well, in the video, it doesn't look that pale, but it's actually quite pale in person. So we're gonna refill the rotifers, and then we're gonna use the old rotting Thalassiocera weglii rotting culture here. We're going to be like Gandalf and just follow our nose. If it smells bad, we're not going to use it. If it smells like it's similar to how it started, which is seaweed and salmon, then we will use it. So we'll give it a little smell test. Here we go. Yeah, pretty yucky smelling, but similar to how it smelled before. So we're going to use it. So here I go. The lid comes off of that. And I'm just going to give it a spoonful. This actually smells so bad that every single time I take a spoonful, I go take the spoon and wash it. They could use more than that, but first of all, I'm not confident that the water quality in that feeder jar is good enough to put a large amount. And second of all, it's always better to feed them more frequently in smaller amounts than in large amounts when I'm worried about crashing the culture. So that's the plan, and that's the next feed.